Welcome to Lesson 29 of the first 50. Let's talk about how to truly become another user. You already know sudo. Borrow privileges once, run a command, done. But su is different. 2 letters and you fully swap identity. Picture Sara debugging Mia's broken deploy script. She doesn't just need Mia's permissions, she needs Mia's whole environment. Same home folder, same shell, same variables. Typing sudo Mia 20 times is tedious. Better to step into Mia's shoes entirely. That's su, switch user. So here's what actually happens. Su starts a brand new shell running as someone else. Your terminal literally becomes that user, their files, their permissions, their environment, until you type exit. 3 things shift the moment you run it. Your identity at the kernel level, meaning your UID and GID, your environment, especially if you add that dash for a full login shell, and usually your prompt so you can see at a glance that you're now Elise instead of Mia. That's the key contrast with sudo. Sudo borrows power for one command, su hands you an entire session. Now the dash. This tiny character is where most beginners trip up. Running su, Alice with the dash gives you a true login shell. You land in Alice's home directory with her path, her shell config, her environment variables. Skip the dash, and you've only swapped identity while still sitting in your own environment, your own folder, your own settings. When Sara needs to debug as Mia, half a switch won't cut it. She needs to actually be Mia all the way down. So make it a habit. Always reach for su, user. Let's put the two side by side. Without the dash, your UID and GID flip to the target user, but everything else stays stubbornly yours. Same home, same path, same working directory. With the dash, it's a clean break. You land in their home, you inherit their path, you're as close to a real login as you can get without logging out. That's why so many sysadmins quietly alias su to su. The dash matters that much. So when do you reach for which tool? Think of it this way. Sudo borrows a privilege for one command and hands control right back to you. That's your daily driver, the 95% case. Su is for when you genuinely need to become someone, like Sara stepping into Mia's shell to debug, and you'll exit when you're done. And sudo I splits the difference, a full root session but unlocked with your own password. That's where modern sysadmins have largely landed. Let's see that superpower in action. Sara runs sudo su, Mia. Sudo lets her skip Mia's password, and the dash gives her Mia's full environment. One quick echo path and the mystery cracks open. Mia's path puts home, Mia bin first, and which deploy confirms she's running an old local copy that shadows the real script. 30 seconds, 1 exit, bug solved. All because Sara didn't just borrow privileges, she became Mia. Now here's the trap that catches almost everyone, forgetting that little dash. Type su Alice without it, and yes, your user identity switches, but your environment doesn't budge. Your working directory, your path, your home, all still yours. So when you reach for sashidi racie, expecting Alice's key, you're actually reading your own files and wondering why nothing lines up. The fix is simple. Always write su Alice. That dash triggers a login shell and you step fully into Alice's world, just like Sara did with Mia. Now, su rarely works alone. 3 companions make it safe and complete. First, womi. Always run it right after switching, just to confirm you actually landed where you intended. Second, exit, or Ctrl+D, which drops you back into your own shell when you're done. And third, sudo I, the modern alternative most sysadmins now prefer for becoming root, because it uses your own password and logs every action. Switch, verify, return, and when in doubt, reach for sudo. Time to put this into practice, and every exercise here ends with exit, very much on purpose. First, run sudo su, check womi to see you've become root, then exit back. Second, try sudo su without the dash, and run pdbud. You'll notice you're still sitting in your original directory, not root. Finally, with the dash again, echo home and watch it point to root, proof that the login shell pulled in root's full environment. 3 small experiments, 1 big lesson. Always know your way out. And that's su mastered. You now know how to borrow power with sudo and how to fully become another user with su, the 2 halves of identity in Linux. Up next, the finale of stage Arrow 6, you mask, the invisible rule that decides what permissions new files are born with. 1 more lesson and the entire permissions picture clicks into place. See you in lesson 30.